The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
All right, it's that time. It is that time. Let's begin with the Lord's Prayer. We'll go from there. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. All right, it is that time. It is that time. Let's have a look at the question box here. If you can hear me, let me know. What do we got? Dave Keys gave me an amen. Awesome. Mary Semmer's on. Hey, Mary. Boy, this is going to be a good time. Mike Swanson, I believe, has joined us. Mike, are you there? Little drama there. Not sure. Mike, you there?
Oh, hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mike, how's it going?
Good.
I'm excited about today. Thanks for jumping on with us.
Oh, sure. It's going to be fun. Sure, it's going to be fun.
This is going to be fun. We have also added one Daryl Ferguson. Daryl, are you there?
Let me see. Is it working?
Yeah, it sure is. It sure is. Okay, well, we've got some fun lined up for today. We'll generally cover two main topics during this event. We are going to we're going to get a sneak preview of a module that Daryl is going to be adding to Project X and Project J, and it's going to be really exciting. Daryl's having a ton of success. It's funny, Daryl. I sent out an email yesterday or 2 days ago, and I mentioned you in it. And for some reason, I was just sure you were 61. I knew you were in your 60s. I figured you were either 60 or 61. You're actually 67.
67 years old.
67 years young.
Yeah.
Well, and you've been absolutely storming Google. You've got, how many clients are you up to at this point?
18.
18 clients. Man, that's killer. The last, Daryl's raking in tens of thousands of dollars a month doing this, and you're having fun. Are you having fun?
Am I having fun? This is like off the chart. Not supposed to be there, yes.
Well, that's really good to hear. So we're gonna open up and we're gonna talk about how, some of the things that Daryl's doing, not just to get clients, but to make the phone ring off the hook for them. So we're going to sneak preview of a module that Daryl's creating. It was Daryl's idea, by the way. He came to me with it. It's really exciting. And then in addition to that, we have Mike Swanson coming on. And how many people here, give me the number one if you have already reviewed Mike's terrific series on pay-per-click marketing in your members area. Give me the number one if you've seen that. Give me the number two if you haven't had a look at it yet. Ted has, Christina has, Paul D and Paul Honorata, Mary, Russ has, Dave Keys hasn't. Dave, come on, man, get on it. Chandel, Dan Sheehan hasn't, Victoria hasn't. Looks like we're around 50%.
Yeah, it looks like 50-50.
50-50. Well, after this is over, I really hope that I'll send everybody running into Mike's module because it's killer. And Mike, you're doing stuff in pay-per-click marketing. I mean, you're facing down really big business competition. At this point, you're basically running nose to nose with companies like Agora, which is just this mega $1 million business, and really you're crushing it. You're humiliating.
Well, yeah, I'm doing pay-per-click in one of the most expensive niches on the internet, which is investing and stock trading and so forth. And I'm spending over $1,000 a day, close to $1,500 actually going into the end of the year. And I'm doing it for lead generation for my own product. So in the module that's on the website inside the members area, it breaks into detail, how I set up my pay-per-click campaign, how I'm capturing the leads, basically the whole gist of my entire business. And I've been doing this for for quite some time. It's a growing business and so forth. However, I also have some. I'm a partner in some local bricks and mortar business where I live in. It's a chain of body shops. Two of them are in the town I live in, and I have nothing to do with the day-to-day running of these things, but I'm part of it as an investor, and I'm starting to help them, do pay-per-click and get a presence on the internet. So, it's much different doing that than it is trying to spend thousands of dollars a day. It's a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
To do that.
And you're going to help us understand how to apply this same technique that you're using, on these national, very competitive keywords. But you can use this same technique and boil it down to the local level and really give yourself an edge.
Yeah, for sure. It sounds, when I talk about I'm spending $1,000 a day or $1,500 a day, I mean, that sounds like it is quite a bit of money. But if you do it on a local level, I mean, you can spend a couple $100s a month. It's a big difference. And I think the local clients are just happy to be visible. And if they're getting a lot of traffic and have a business where they know how much a customer's worth, then there's a lot of value in there. I can tell you, I don't know. I mean, people here, I don't do, I don't manage local clients. I'm doing this myself, so I'm curious what perspective, what angle would work. But I really kind of maybe see two possibilities. One is, I've heard of people doing this where you just manage someone's entire pay-per-click campaign, and they're spending a massive amount of money, and you're charging them 5 to 10% of their ad spend. I've heard of people doing that sort of thing, but in a local thing like this body shop, for example, that doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense to me because you're only looking probably to spend a couple $100s a month.
Yeah.
So
it's more something that you're tacking onto things, but you can use it to acquire customers for SEO. And really, one of the things as we roll into, I've got the Breakthrough 2015 blog page pulled up here. We're in this wonderful transition at OMG. We've got SEO wrapped up, and I'll tell you this, guys and gals. My gosh. Whew. What you have on your doorstep with Director's Cut, what's coming soon, when it comes to SEO, it is going to freak you out. It is awesome. Awesome. I actually just got off a call. I was doing a Skype session with Greg Morrison, and we're plotting out our 2015 SEO moves, and it's crazy what we're going to be turning loose. And this is such an exciting time. We've got SEO on lock. What I want you to start thinking of yourself I want you to think of yourself as a person who does web traffic consulting. Web traffic consulting. And let me pull up our Facebook page here. And I'm just going to type that in, web traffic consulting. And I'd like every individual who's on this event to do the same thing, to jump in. If you're fired up about this event today, we're sitting down with Mike. Mike's ripping open a $1,000 to $1,500 per day ad spend, and that means that he's making a lot more than that. Just so you know, like a lot. And we're ripping that open. That opens you up to being able to do national client consulting, web traffic consulting for pay-per-clicks. It's also something you can add on as a service to your clients. We're also going to be talking about how Daryl's doing it, primarily in SEO. But I really want you to think of yourself as a web traffic consultant. Now, you may be the kind of person where you're doing web traffic consulting for other people, for other businesses. That's a lot of what Daryl's money is coming in from, is being a web traffic consultant for other businesses. Now, he's also doing it for his own business. He's got an embroidery business. He's really been able to boost that business up. But you can also do web traffic consulting for your own business and for other people. So if you're fired up about this, about today's acceleration Webby, head over to our happy little Facebook group here, the OMG NHB Team Facebook group, and type in Web Traffic Consulting. And let's see who we've got in on this. So Chris is in on it, Daryl's in on it, Glenn Ingram, Dan Sheehan. Glenn's crushing it, by the way. Don Eason's in on it. Who else is in on this? WTC. Yeah, it definitely should not be confused with WTF. No, WTC. This is serious stuff. You're going to have a lot more power. You're going to have a lot more. It's not exactly flexibility. It's really more adaptability, and we're going to talk more about adaptability. It's a very, very, very important thing to be adaptive, because you can be flexible but not very strong and not really able to break through, or you can be strong but too rigid, and then again it's still hard to break through. We want the best of both. We want strength where we need strength, and everywhere else we want flexibility. We want to be flexible, and those two things together, they're going to join forces. They're going to make us adaptable. And now, Mike, you have reviewed, and I know Daryl has as well, so I'll get his opinion on this. You have reviewed David Mills' extraordinary new breakthrough series. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I just went to the number 5, the last one in the series this week, and listened. Anyway, I've gone through all of them, and they're quite extraordinary. And now I bought the Law of Implication, the very first product of it, which is a whole slew of videos. But these 5, really break down. I think they're the best ones he's done so far, because it really breaks down a lot of the concepts, into 5 videos. He's doing them. He's making them more and more concise, might be the way to put it, and it really helps you get a grip on running a business or starting a business, any goals really, but we're all sharing this business stuff together, and I can speak from my own experience. I've been doing this for 14 years now on the internet, and you can. One of the main things he does is he makes distinction between the idea people have of having a goal or a objective, and then versus a breakthrough. And the problem in life, I think, it's not just business, but you see something all the time and you can think, well, that's a good goal. I should go do this. And in fact, actually, he said this, and I think in this series, that there's kind of like different ways people think about how to go about things. And one of the main things about life is we have all grown up in the United States or the West or whatever you want to call it in the 20th century, and we all grew up in this phase of being a child and going to school and staying in school and high school, and most people are trained to want to get good grades. That's a goal. And then you think, well, I'm going to go to college, that's a goal. I'm going to get a house, that's a goal. So you're kind of trained to have thinking milestones and goals, and that actually what ends up happening is people don't achieve these things. And a lot of people, they'll come up with goals and then they just don't do it, and then they get frustrated. I mean, every year we got New Year's resolutions, People write down these goals they're going to do, and it lasts like a week, and then it's gone. When the better thing to think about is a breakthrough, which the way I interpret that is a simple thing that you can do that can have a lot of results.
It really smash down resistance. I mean,
yeah,
because that's the thing. Mike, you're at OMG Live Nashville, and this is the first acceleration webinar we've had since then. And what was it like? I mean, obviously you're having breakthrough results right now. What was it like talking to other people? Because obviously I do my best to share all the folks that are out there having success, and I send out earnings reports and so forth. I actually got a complaint, by the way, today. Somebody wrote, it wasn't really a complaint, but he was like, I sent out a dispatch today, and he's like, well, all of your emails are about your members being successful. And I just said, if you wanted to not see success, you could just read any other list, You could just, any old guru will do if you want to not see member success. But unfortunately, if you're stuck on the OMG list, you're just gonna be exposed to a lot of people crushing it. What was it like for you at OMG Live Nashville, like starting to walking around and talking to people who really are just having this incredible breakthrough success?
Well, it's really nothing like it because I've been to, like I was saying it again, I've been online for so long with a business, and I've been to other internet marketing conferences, 2 other ones, and both of those, 99% of the people weren't doing anything. If they're just buying courses and not doing anything. And I think that's the one of the reasons why is you want to link it to what we were saying earlier is most of the time people see a product and that product is the goal. The product has a promise, right? And then they don't do anything and then they think, but that's why they're buying it basically. So you can get a product about just general. That's how it kind of works. And that's what happens when you go to most internet marketing conferences. You just find someone who bought the product. They've got a goal, in mind, that inspired them to buy the product, and then they go to the conference, and they just don't do anything. And there are people that do this for years, and the event in Nashville is not like that at all. I mean, the whole room is making money, and some of them are people like me who've been in a business for a long time, but most of the people are people that maybe a year, some of them 2 years, and were some people that came back from the year before because it was the second year you had it, and I was one. I was there the year before, and with those people that I talked to, it was a really interesting, dramatic. You could see the dramatic growth that they've had, and I don't know. I didn't ask them. Those people, are they making more money or not? But I didn't need to. You can just tell in a certain sense that for what they're doing and talking about and so forth. But I've never been to an event like that where everyone is excited and 99% of the people are doing stuff and implementing and making money, and it's just a unique community. Now, there's one person I did meet that hasn't done anything, which was kind of interesting, and he was one of these people that buys lots of products and stuff. But from what and I spent some time with him, but from what I understood, what he was telling me, he's not really trying to make money on the internet. He just likes to learn about marketing stuff. But I'm just saying that's just one person out of the whole, how many people were there? I don't, it's a lot.
Well, I'll tell you, it was interesting for me because when I first took the microphone, we didn't have a stage this year, which I liked. But anyways, when I first took the microphone and I went to the front of the room, I asked, who here made your trip out to OMG Live Nashville, with profits from stuff you've learned from me and Greg and David Mills and Fletch and Mike Swanson and Daryl Ferguson. Anyways, from OMG. Actually, just specifically from OMG. And I don't know what it was, 8 or 9 out of every 10 people raised their hands. It was very, very nice to see. But what I saw, for me, like I almost envisioned, because I went to a big event this summer. I did a lot of traveling to set up some things for OMG to really blow up, in a good way. I mean, we're always going to be this. Well, I can't say always, but we're certainly on track and plan on being, continue to be kind of a small to medium sized underground training. But anyways, I was doing some moves in the background, and I went to this big event in Vegas, and there were thousands of people in the audience. And I think that if you could have represented what was in that room, and I talked to a lot of people there. I talked to a lot of people at that event. And I believe that if you had asked the people at that event who made their trip out with profits, number one, I think very few people would have raised their hands. Number two, this is for an expensive program. People had spent a lot of money, and there was a large outlay to start making money with this particular business model. Some people know what I'm talking about. If you don't, it's fine. It doesn't really matter. But I believe that room was, as a whole, in what is it, red ink, right? When you're not making money, like when you're in the negative. I believe that entire room, as a whole, was in the negative by a lot. That's a problem to begin with. But I also think that if you had just gone desk by desk in that room, and if there was a way to visually see how much money people had either taken in or lost, either profited or lost, and you just looked individual by individual, maybe people who are losing money might glow red or something like that, a certain amount, and people who are making money might glow green or something like that, then I think that room would have been, like 9 out of every 10 desks would have been red ink, would have been people not making money. And at OMG Live, it's just you just would have seen green everywhere. It would have been like a big green glow. I don't know how good I am at visually representing this. The reason I'm saying this is because we have a particular ambition with OMG. When David Mills and I set it up with Greg Morrison, to really help you break through, to really help you move down the line and be able to start, really making profits and having breakthrough success. And we've really started seeing that. I mean, gosh, it's crazy. All the people I met at OMG Live Nashville making $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $40,000, $50,000, $80,000, $100,000, $200,000 per month. You'd think I would, with those numbers I'm saying, you got to be thinking Mike, for you, like, I don't know about you, but in the last, and Daryl, you're probably the same way. Nowadays, when I hear 50,000 or I hear 100,000, my brain automatically inserts per month at this point. But growing up, if you hear like someone's making 100,000, you assume it's like per year, or 50,000. It's like, is that a fair assertion?
I agree.
Oh, for sure.
And it's different for you. Daryl, is it different for you now? Like now when you hear 40,000, you probably think 40,000 per month.
Well, yeah, and it's when I was in the car business for 30 years, sales manager, so I made good money. And Mike was talking about the goals in the last 5 videos that the Law of Implication put out, having the breakthroughs. You have the goals set out every year. I set a goal, how many cars we needed to sell. But I like it, and I was just thinking about it when Mike was talking about it. I played golf all my life, and all the golfers are always going out and getting new clubs, but they don't have a law of implication to go take to get their mind right, which everybody knows. Golf is 95% mental, and until you get the clubs are fine, and you give all the tools, but until you get the mindset from the law of implication and you break down, and that's what happens. Literally, listen to the law of implication. I do it in the morning. It's just like the goals, 50,000 a month. So that's not a lot.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a lot anymore.
No, so I mean, I look at my bank statement. I'm going like, wow, but it's really I'm not looking at that goal because it comes because I've changed my life.
Well, that's one thing too. I got one thing that's really interesting about the business, the community, I should say. Well, 2 things. One that makes it a little different, I think, than those other conferences. There's 2 other ones I've gone to, or other products I've bought, or whatever. Is that most typically when you buy an internet marketing product, what you're buying is a product someone is sold, and the person selling you the product is presenting themselves as if they've made $1 million or $5 million. They're making all this money and buy my product. But a lot of times, these people, well, I'll just say, I've bought a lot of Dan Kennedy products, and I've gotten a lot out of them over the years. And I was listening to one on the way up I drove to Nashville, and I was listening to it, and I've learned a lot from buying these things and so forth. So I don't want to put it down too much, but he made a comment in this thing. It was a speech he's given that he doesn't do any marketing for himself or for to get customers, and he sells that. And I was like, that's really fascinating. I never realized that, but he's telling that I do more marketing for myself than he does, which really struck me on the way to that thing. I mean, he's selling himself as he's a guru for marketing, but I do more actual marketing for myself. I mean, he's got copywriting clients and so forth and all that, but I do it for my own business. I think it is a bit different. But the main point I'm trying to make, though, is that this community is different because it's not like Mike Long or David Mills or something that's making all this money and that's it. It's Greg Morrison and Jimmy and dozens and dozens and dozens of other people that the people teaching this stuff are making money. They're making money off the techniques. Greg's making money off the SEO stuff. I'm using PPC. It's all real stuff people are doing. And when I went to the conference, just talking to people that not even people all over the place are doing different things. And besides the speakers, I talked to someone that does marketing for body shops. That helps me out. He laid out exactly how he does it. And someone told me some stuff that'll save me more money than what I paid to drive up there and everything, in the first couple of days. So it's just, that's the thing. It's people are doing stuff. It's
well, and to be fair, I'm gonna beat up on old man Dan Kennedy here for a second. To be fair, Mike, in private conversations, I've had to detox you from a lot of bad ideas you got from Dan Kennedy.
Oh, sure.
And I'll tell you one thing. I gave a speech at OMG Live, kind of an impromptu speech, just something kind of from the heart. And I was talking about how we created OMG, how David designed it, how David Mills designed it. And one of the things I came down on, and let me ask you this here. You can either answer in your let's answer on Facebook. Dan Kennedy, the first time I ever saw him speak, he said that if you have a list, you can make money, which I think that's a decent perspective. It's a good perspective. But what he also said is that your list is like a herd of cattle. And does anybody here like being described as a herd or as a lead, like leads on somebody's list? Or do you prefer to be an individual? I personally prefer to be an individual. I like to deal with people who treat me like an individual. So if you like to be called a herd or a cow or a lead, go ahead and type in, I'm a cow or I'm a herd or whatever, or I'm a lead. And if you like being treated as an individual, and if you like treating others as an individual with caring, respect, love, all that stuff, then type in individual. And let's just do a quick impromptu vote here. Let's find out on Facebook publicly how many people like to be described as a herd or a cow or as a sheep or I don't know what other things get herded around. I'm not seeing a lot of herds or stuff like that popping up just yet, but I'm sure the people who like to be thought of as herds are just getting ready to spill the beans and tell us how much they like being treated like a cow. I'm not anti-cow in saying this. I'm sure there's going to be somebody here. So far, no votes for being treated like a cow, but I'm sure it'll come up at some point here. Okay, I'm being a little sarcastic. We didn't get any votes at the event for people who wanted to be treated like leads or like cows.
No, maybe if we lived in India or something.
Yeah, something like that. So yeah, I think that this, and I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it to focus on this for a second. And I'll say this about breakthroughs. You know, on this, you can go to omgmachines.com/blog/breakthrough-2015. And if it's hard for you to remember that, then you can open up any of your email dispatches I've been sending out recently. I was talking about Joe Marfolio. I'm really excited about what Joe's sharing here. This is a great video with Lonnie. But towards the bottom of this, and I'm just going to kind of keep growing on this as we go, we've got these terrific videos from OMG Live Nashville. I got these terrific video clips with David Mills speaking out on this breakthrough stacking formula that he has, so powerful. And you know, please take the time to review those along with your breakthrough series. Daryl, what were your thoughts on the breakthrough series?
Well, the goal is that, like Mike had pointed out, you know, you have goals, but you don't achieve the goals, and they're so long out usually that you just don't achieve it, so you forget it. So the breakthrough, the process of mentally having a minor breakthrough gives you constant rewarding to keep you towards your goal.
Yeah. I mean, you just, because it's just so, like, I mean, you've done a lot of, you know, trying to do business without breakthroughs, Daryl. You know, you're somebody who's been around the block a couple more times than most of us. It's real different going breakthrough by breakthrough.
Right. It's like you're achieving a goal today, tomorrow, and I mean, you got to read or listen to the whole law of implication thing, and once it starts settling in, you know, there are no limitations, and every day you eliminate the clutter. You focus on being around the people that make you happy, and rather than the people that drag you down. And personally, I don't listen to anybody anymore. I don't have a lot of friends because I'm too busy making money. But
you got friends at OMG?
Really a sad thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but no, I mean, but you've probably made a lot of new friendships inside of OMG.
Well, and that's where my head stays. You know, I'm likened to my girlfriend's got a great granddaughter, and she's on her phone all the time. But she said, you know, you're on that. My girlfriend said, you know, you're on your phone all the time too. What are you doing? And I said, well, I'm checking Facebook to see if somebody needs something answered.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I have the sense, you know, Daryl, I've heard it from you, I've heard it from Mike Swanson, I've heard it from Cotton, I've heard it from Greg Morrison, from Jimmy, I've heard it from dang near everybody. How many people out there feel like 2015 is going to be your year? Like, you know, you just really feel like this is it. 2015 is my year. Like, this is the year it's going to happen. You know, I'm really going to start making breakthroughs to a whole different level. Give me a hashtag breakthrough 2015. If Heather McCarthy says 2015 is my year, yes, that's awesome, Heather. Heather's working on her city SEO, which is awesome. Dave Keys is in on it. Dennis O'Rourke's in on it. Yeah, Glenn, I know it is for you, Glenn. Glenn's on the attack for sure. This is great. This is great to see. Yeah, I think that this is something that like resonates for people. I think that we can get behind this. I think we can get behind this in a big way. Well, let's do this. Let's jump in on what Daryl wants to share with us. Now, I'm going to begin. I don't know if this is an odd way to begin or whatever, but you can see my screen. Daryl, when I'm pulling this up here? Try to pull it up. When I'm pulling this up here, what am I seeing, and why is this important? This is a screen capture from my iPhone. So I pulled out my iPhone. I searched for Pensacola pool repair, and I found this site ranked nice and high, PensacolaPoolRepair.com. What's going on here?
Well, I built it a week ago, so I'm surprised it's already ready. But the key to, and I'm going to do this module, and basically I'm going to break it into two parts after thinking about it this afternoon. I'm going to do a beginner's WordPress setup, because people, I think you've got to be, I've been in sales for 30 years, and I taught salesmen, number one, get the confidence in your product and then find somebody to sell it to. So number one, I feel there's a lot of people that, you know, are new and there's so much things to learn. I went into client getting, you know, Mike Swanson went into the pay-per-click, which is another way to increase money. But so what I want to do is teach people to find one WordPress theme, how to set it up so they feel very comfortable and confident. Once they feel confident, they can, you know, talk to other people. And I have an unfair advantage because I have an embroidery company that has 400 customers, and a lot of them are companies, so I talk to them just automatically when they come in, what kind of web presence do you have? So I have a built-in, but I'm saying, you know, I'm going to take myself outside of my setting, and I started meeting in my network, and a lot of people having trouble finding out, you know, where are you going to sell somebody a website? Well, so I went and started meeting with a group of retired guys that meet at Denny's in the morning, 10 to 15 of them about 2 months ago. And I just started talking to them, and every 3 or 4 of them own little businesses, paint shops, body shops, this kind of shop, and none of them know anything about WordPress. They don't know anything about SEO. They don't know anything, but they trust me as an individual. I have the confidence because I can do it, and I can bring up this particular site is one I just did the other day for a guy that came to me. He's been in business 25 years, and he said, I want to do just pool repair, not the entire pools. He said, what can you do for me and how much? You know, it's a friend of mine, so I didn't charge him but $1,000 to set it up and guarantee it'd be on the first page of Google. I said, if he doesn't get on the first page of Google, it's $500. I didn't know I was going to do it in 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
But I found this theme, and there's thousands of them out there, and it's called, if you want to write this down, it's called Local Businesses. And I uploaded this theme, and the nice thing about it, it's not real easy to set it up. My module is going to teach you how to walk through setting it up with SEO in the background, which plugins to use. This particular site has no PBNs pointed to it yet. I wait right now. If this WordPress theme is just so unique, because I'm sitting there, I did another one for a guy that owns a towing company, been around 20 years, owns KPS services. I said, what's that got to do with towing? If people were searching for it, he said, what are you talking about? So, you know, people don't know. So let me do this. Let me $1,000. I'll build a site and rank it on the first page of Google. And if it doesn't in 60 days, you give me money back. So this particular site, what I'm envisioning, or the theme, enables people to, you know, they're broke down in their car.
Yep.
They get out of their car, they got their phone. They don't have a pad, they don't have a pencil. So I wanted a theme that looks good on a website, but when they pull it up on either Android or an Apple, it gives them an instant look. It's a Pensacola pool repair, affordable lifestyle pools. This is the pool repair place, not the towing company. But quick and affordable, and it's got a phone number. You tap the button, and it either automatically goes into your dial mode or switches it over to your contact mode, and you dial the phone. So that's all they got to do, and nobody else has something similar to this. They might be on the first page of Google, but they got to look at a website and scroll around, go down to contact us and all this. So this one gives an instant tap to call. That pretty much says it all as far as that particular.
And this is really working for your clients. I mean, they're loving this, you know, because the phone's ringing.
I've used this particular theme on 18 different sites, and 15 out of the 18 are just going crazy.
Oh.
And they're instantly getting the calls. And, you know, if you wanted to change it and go through a phone number that you pulled offline and so you could track it, that's fine. But this is just such a simple WordPress theme to build, and it's so functional.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And you know, Daryl also has, at this point, a great deal of sales experience. You know, he just joined us a few months ago, but he's really taken his, you know, the knowledge he built up over years selling cars, and he'll be sharing some of that wisdom with you as well. I think that this is, Daryl, you know, me and David Mills have been talking about this. We're real excited about your upcoming module. How many people are? Let's thank Daryl. If you, I mean, you know, if you don't feel like it, then don't. But if you're a good and nice person and you want to thank Daryl in that wonderful OMG City on Hill way, then let's thank Daryl. I think this is going to be awesome. There we go. is pouring in. That's great.
One more thing, Mike.
Yeah.
I'm going to expand. I'm going to do 5 videos on the setting up and optimizing this particular theme. And you know, there's many other good themes that you can learn from OMG and how to set up a WordPress site. It's just my takeoff. You know, I'm not real smart. Sometimes I have to look at 2 or 3 people's different ideas of how it was done, and then, you know, maybe one of them will hit me and the others won't, you know. So, but I'm going to add to this client getting and how to get the, you know, the sphere of influence that you have just in the people that don't own a business, that just have friends, how to network and get people to want to let you build a website. I'm going to add probably 3 or 4 videos on that. That'll be more in a sales presentation, but something simple that everybody can do.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You know, earlier this week, we heard from Michael Landis-Spires, and he's a younger fellow. He just turned 20, and he's in the UK, and he's been over 10K a month each of the last couple of months with an affiliate site he set up. There's so many ways to do this. It works if you're, you know, a younger guy or gal. It works if you're, you know, a little bit more of a seasoned citizen, a little bit more experienced. And this is, again, you know, so much like what the city on a hill. You know, OMG is a city on a hill. It's a place where friends come together in Providence. And Daryl, I just think this is so special. It's you know, just real common sense, nuts and bolts. You know, I talked today in this blog post I just put up about Joe Marfolio's outsourcing. You know, how he does outsourcing, and I call it street smart outsourcing, because so often when people are doing outsourcing, I got this right here, Joe knows street smart outsourcing. So often when they're doing outsourcing, this is going to be for director's cut, which is going to be incredible. And by the way, give me a fired up if you're fired up about director's cut. I'm just kind of curious, like a quick straw poll here. Give me a fired up, like a hashtag fired. See if I can type correctly here. Fired up. If you're fired up about director's cut, it's coming out. It'll be out in a couple of weeks, and apparently that was a winner. Wow, that's great. That is great. That's great to see. Yeah, we've been pouring our heart into this. You know, really for over a year. We've been working on this in the background, and you know, it's going to be, you know, of course, good news all around. There's a lot of stuff that's going to go straight into your Project J and Project X members areas because of this. But boy, I'll tell you what, this director's cut thing is going to light up your world. Anyways, the point of me talking about the outsourcing is the idea of street smarts. And I think that Daryl's somebody who really has street smarts as well. And it's really, really wonderful to get different angles on this from different individuals that are having success, different walks of life, people with their own spins on things, because we learn so much better when we're bombarded from many different angles. It's sort of like, you know, Neo in the Matrix, when he just gets bombarded with so many different angles of learning, and then he learns Kung Fu in just a minute or two. And we really want that for you as well. We want you to really rocket ahead. Kara's asking where Daryl's videos are going to be. Daryl's videos are going to pop right into your Project X and Project J members area. So that's not going to be a part of Director's Cut. Everyone here will have access to it, and it's going to be really, really cool. And then separately, we're going to have the whole Director's Cut. That's going to include Cotton the Hammer Grammar. I used one of Cotton's techniques that he spoke out about in OMG Live Nashville, and I made $9,600 today with it. So it was a day when I was thankful for Cotton. But it's going to have Cotton. It's going to have Joe Marfolio. It's going to have this guy. Has anybody here ever heard of this guy named Jimmy Kelly? Anybody out there? Give me a number one if you've ever heard of. Nobody's heard of him. Oh, okay, all right. Well, anyway, we found this guy named Jimmy Kelly. Not many people know about him. And he's in there. Boy, what Jimmy's spilling the beans on is going to be very, very exciting. Another fellow named Russell Wright, you may have heard of. Glenn says the bullfrog. Jimmy, At OMG Live, I couldn't do the Jimmy Kelly song because because we're all going over to Drake's every night and staying up real late, and there was beer involved and stuff like that. So my voice, I couldn't do the Jimmy Kelly song, but I tried. And we're going to have a lady named Sue Bell in there, which is going to be really cool. I don't know if you guys have been exposed to Sue. And then we have a number of other things that are going to be in Director's Cut that's just going to be awesome. It's just going to be incredibly awesome, and I'm really I'm excited about 2015. It's going to be it's going to be crazy. I mean, I know it's already crazy now, but it's going to keep getting crazier. So Daryl, I'm real excited about your upcoming training. I'm excited for you to share this street smart approach to WordPress that you're taking and to sales. And I just want to thank you. Give me the number one if you're going to commit like kind of ahead of time to really going through Daryl's module and applying what he's saying and getting some of that magic from him. Let's get the number one in there. Let's see what we got here. Got to refresh. We had a lot of comments today. All right, a lot of people. Great. That's great to see. Wow, a lot of comments today. Everyone's fired up. I guess y'all missed these. Haven't done an acceleration webinar in a few weeks. I guess y'all missed this. Dave Key says Sue is awesome. Bwahaha. That's great. That's great. Mike Swanson.
Yeah.
You ready to jump into some PPC?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. I think this is going to be really, really exciting. So you, at this point, have ramped up to the point where you're spending between $1,000 and $1,500 per day on ads. Obviously, you know that that's going to make you money. What would you estimate that $1,000 is going to win you back, let's say in the next year? Every $1,000 that you spend, how much do you think that you're going to rake in, like in the next calendar year on that?
It's kind of a funny number that I calculate every once in a while, then I forget it. I can tell you exactly. Hold on one second, I'll tell you. About 5 times that, at least.
How many people feel like spending $1,000 to make $5,000 is a reasonable deal? Give me a hashtag reasonable deal if you feel like that's a reasonable turn on your investment.
Now the goal is what I tend to do is make the money back in 30 days. So, or in fact even double it, which is kind of crazy. My product's on ClickBank, and some of the people from there called me a couple months ago and told me that my product is one of the top 10 products that pay out earnings per click, and they're telling me it was like $2. So I was like, huh, okay.
Well, and that's crazy because that actually doesn't factor in your rebills. Is that correct?
No, it's not factoring that in.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Yeah, that's bizarre. Mike Swanson has one of the great products to promote on ClickBank. I mean, and it's real underground. Very few people know about it or promote it. But if you get in on it, and this is one of the opportunities of being here, is you're getting some really great insight from Mike on how you can promote his product. You'll learn about how to promote any product. And he doesn't this is not how he makes his money. He's not making his money on affiliates. So it's really for you. Because he can, between his SEO and pay-per-clicks, he's set for life. But it's really incredible. You're making on average the average commission, like paid out over time for each sale, for a $100 sale, is $700 to the affiliate that the affiliate collects and puts in their bank. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. It's a monthly membership program. It costs the people $97 a month, and most people stay 12 months. It equals out to about $700 a year in commissions. And generally speaking, the earnings per click are about, that I get, that they tell me other people get, is around $2. And
Well,
I'm
really, it's
spending
just got to be a lot higher because they're the way that ClickBank,
yeah.
the way that they're establishing EPCs, earnings per clicks, they're only calculating your first month, but you're keeping people on average 12 to 14 months. So really,
Yeah, they're counting the first sale, and
yeah,
if you multiply it by 10, you're really talking $20.
yeah, and $20 per click is something that's a breakthrough result. And again, this is something that I this is why we focus on breakthroughs at OMG. Breakthroughs are just far more fun. So that's a great proof of concept. Now we're not going to reteach the whole module here. It's in your members area on the right hand side under Mike Swanson's name and his pay-per-click module. But the basic one of the things that people are really missing the boat on when it comes to Google pay-per-click advertising, Mike, is they are not taking advantage of the power of ramping up correctly. So what they're doing, if you look at it from Google's standpoint, that's their big cash cow. Like that's how they make most of their money is on their pay-per-click campaigns. And what they found is that if somebody's going to come in and just blow a lot of money really fast, then they'll just sort of take that money and but it's not like necessarily the kind of advertiser that they really want. It's not the kind of that's not really the behavior they're looking for. That's more something that someone who's either extremely unsophisticated or a spammer would do. And so they have actually massaged their algorithm. They have they have their own algorithm. They have their own system, and they've made it so people who wisely ramp up have a massive advantage. Why is that?
Well, what Google wants is they want, of course, simple. They want to make the most money they can.
Yeah.
But the way they want to do that is by making the Google ads useful to people so they'll keep clicking them. And as a result, what they reward are ads that are clicked on the most. So if you just stick an ad up there and it doesn't get clicked, you're only going to be able to you're going to have to pay more. Let me put you this way, a better way to put it. If you put an ad on Google that gets clicked a lot, they're going to reward you for that by lowering the amount of money you're spending. Now, if you put an ad that doesn't get clicked at a high rate or gets clicked at a very low rate, they're going to force you to pay more money to keep advertising with them. And so one of the tricks is, of course, then to have ads that get clicked a lot. However, people don't understand, at least I don't know, I don't know anyone who's taught it, but except in the module that I've made in the members area. But the simple way you want to do that is when you put an ad up, you want to test a couple ads. I don't care if you're doing local search or something across the world, but just test a couple ads, like 3 or 4 ads, and put them in there, and then bid high on them. So if Google will have a suggested bid of for something, let's say it's 25 cents, you want to actually bid 50 cents just to start. And the reason why is what this will do is, wow, those are expensive. That's crazy. It's like, wow, that's more expensive than some of the stock market stuff. But but you want to bid like double that suggested bid. The reason why is that'll put you in the top spot, and one of your ads will get a high click-through rate. You want to get over 3% at least when you start out. And then what's going to happen is Google will see that, and they're going to reward you and lower the cost per bid. And you don't really actually want to stay in that top spot if there's a bunch of competition. It's more profitable to drop into like the 3rd or 4th spot. The reason why is a lot of times that top spot is just clicked a lot by random, and the people, they get a lot of junk clicks or spammy clicks or just people, hit it and disappear. The lower spots, the people convert a lot better. So, and it's cheaper. The lower spots are cheaper. The top spots are really expensive, but it gets clicked more. The purpose, though, is you want to start in the top spot, get the high click-through rate, and then start to lower your bid and drop down to like the third or fourth spot. And once you are there, after about a week of all this happening, those suggested bid prices you see right there, you're going to actually be paying a fourth of that. So it's really interesting. That suggested bid basically is for people who are like having average results that really suck. And if you and if after a week's time, if you're doing things right, you're going to pay a fourth of that. So like right now, I've got suggested bids of some of the stuff $3, and I'm paying 80 cents even, and so forth. So and that's really powerful. I mean, and I don't, what'll happen is if you are monitoring a keyword that's a national keyword, I don't know if this will happen so much on the local level, but what you'll end up seeing is there'll be a couple people on that front page of Google that are advertising all the time, like 3 or 4 people, and the rest of them are just people coming and going.
Yeah.
And those are people who can't get this to work, and they don't know what they're doing. Because a lot of people have a temptation of saying, well, I want that cheap. People hear, oh, you get cheap traffic, and they'll say, okay, well, I'm just going to bid real low and try to get the cheap traffic, and it won't work because you got to bid high to start to get the high click-through rate, then Google will reward you for it. Anyway, I explain this a lot more detail in the module. One thing I was thinking about today, though, that would be more helpful to people that are going for local results, like the ones you see right there, is to ask yourself or to try to figure out how much is this going to cost. Like that used cars Nashville spot, 2,400 monthly searches. Now, if you do the broad match, that can multiply to tens of thousands of monthly searches. But if you just do used cars Nashville, nothing but that, only people type in used car Nashville. Broad match means they might type in used cars Nashville sale or something, extra words along with that phrase. But if you just do just that phrase, it's going to be 2,300 monthly searches. And generally speaking, that the top 3 are going to get click through like rates of like 5%. So the top spot is going to cost a lot, and I'm saying you don't want to be there, but over the long term. But just to get an idea of how much could this cost. If you're in the top spot and you're paying that $5.30, 5% of 2,400 is
about 150.
120. Yeah, it's 120 times 5.3, $600.
Yeah.
So what is $600 worth it to a used car dealership in Nashville to get 100-some clicks? Now we can do better, but just saying, what is it worth?
Yeah, I'll tell you, one of our clients for National SEO, we're making a killing for them. Then that's why I pulled up Used Cars Nashville, because they're so excited about what we're doing for them in SEO that they want to actually expand it out to pay-per-clicks as well. So I wanted to do this. Let's work on an ad together. And
but I would guess I looked at the body shop stuff where I live at, and there's like no competition and no bids. So I think that's going to be the case a lot of places. And in that situation, you ain't paying really anything.
Yeah.
It's just like, and our average customer is like, we're $600. And a car dealership's probably about the same, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, it would be about maybe actually 1,000.
Yeah.
Someone buying a car, yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a ton of money in this. So I think people would love for us to let's put together an ad, and I just opened this up. So let's open up. Let's work on this here. Let me click in on how do I edit this ad?
Just double click the campaign. There you go.
Okay, great. All right, so let's see here. All right, it just randomly threw some crap together. This isn't really what I wanted, actually. Let me start a new campaign. Let's see. So So the interface has changed a little bit here. How do I start a new campaign?
Where it says all online campaigns, the top left, click that.
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then where it says add.
Yeah.
Oh no, click. I'm sorry. Click campaign at the top. There you go.
Okay.
Now where it says red, click that, and then you'll create one right here.
Okay. Am I going to do search network with display select or search network?
Just do the search network for now.
Okay.
That'll make it simple. This is just, if you do the other one, it's advertising on other people's websites.
All right. So let's call this one Used Cars Nashville. And let's see. We would just want United States here. And actually, we really just want to target Nashville, Tennessee, right?
Yeah, you might as well.
Now, what's this? What's the difference here?
DMA is going to be the surrounding area too, including like where you live at.
Okay, let's do that.
If you just do Nashville, it's just going to be the city limits. DMA is like Nashville and 100-mile radius or something.
Okay, and then we're going to manually set up our clicks for bids, and our default bid's actually going to be $10. Is that right?
Yeah, that's
Okay, and we'll set it up for $100 a day for right now. We may change that. Okay, and are we going to do any ad extensions, or we skip that for now?
I would just skip it.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to do. I'm not going to actually put the name of the site here. I'm sure there's some used car Nashville, but I'm just kind of picking something at random here. Let's see. Let me make sure there actually is a site called usedcarnashville.com. I'm quite sure there is, but just in case. Yeah, there is just kind of a spam page of some sort. Okay, so fine. So I'll put that up, and we'll call it the ad group one. We'll call this used cars 1.
Okay.
All right, and our keywords we'll do Nashville, used cars, Nashville, used cars, Nashville, TN, used cars, Franklin, TN, used cars, used cars, Brentwood, TN, used cars, Brentwood. So let's just do that for now. And do we need, so that we don't need to create another new ad group, right? So I just continue to ads, is that correct?
Right.
Okay. All right, so what sort of a headline would you suggest?
Generally speaking, the next two, the ones that work, the headline's the most important one, but you really want the keyword in the headline. That tends to work better. So something used cars would work best. Used car deal or something might work good. Used car sale, used car. It's something, if you can get in the mind of the, yeah, actually that's good. That's good. You want to get in the mind of the prospect, something that will make them pop their eyes out if you can.
Okay, and then what for the ad text do you think?
To see the second line, how they have theirs of New York Budget Hotel.
Yeah.
Usually what works best on the second line is some sort of call to action. So, like, you can't really write click here, but, like they got, say, free delivery, buy today, contact us now or something like that would work good. So you got shocking used car deals. Well, now the contact us now would be good for the second line. I'm not sure what would be good for the first line. Some sort of description of what the used car deals are, easy used car deals, or see like how they're doing it. This New York budget hotel, right? Clean and close to Subway. It's describing what the hotel is and why it's good. The Pixel cameras is repeating the word cameras, but 20% off. They're telling you why, what's the unique proposition, or why is this special. Easy financing might be good. No money down or something. Something good about why you want to go to that used car dealership. A Christmas sales, that's actually good. Just something, but that's what usually works best, the second line. Some reason what makes this ad better than the others, basically. And then the last line, contact us right now, it's just some sort of call to action is what you want there. So, that's good for now. But like I was saying too, like if you are really, if we're doing this for real, we would want to make 3 of these ads, and we'd be testing them out, see which one's going to work the best. But
okay, so let's save that one.
This one.
Okay.
That looks good.
Yeah, it does look good. So we create like 3 different ads, but they follow the same, general template there. Where we do, something eye-popping with the keywords in the headline. The third line is going to be a call to action. Contact us right now. And then just generally benefits is going to be this middle line. Easy financing,
right.
Christmas event. Okay. So then we'd save and finish. Okay, then I'm going to pause that so it doesn't start running.
You see where you got the green dot next to it?
Yeah.
You can hit that. You can pause it.
Okay. All right. So now, how is this going to roll out? So we'll be paying $10 per click. But first of all, we're not actually going to ever really pay $10 a click. Is that right?
Well, you will for the first day. You just want to do it one day. What's going to happen is you'll go to bed, you'll come back, and you're going to see click-through rate right there, right?
Yep.
And average position, and you should be in the average position is going to say 1, and then you're going to go look at your ads. You got that nav bar ads at the top.
Yep.
You're going to see which ads get the best click-through rate, and if you got an ad only getting 1%, you're in the top spot. You got to get rid of it because it's not going to work. You need an ad with at least a 3% click-through rate. 5% is really kind of what you're aiming for, but at least 3%.
And that's why we're testing out 3 different ads at a time.
Right, exactly. So the idea here is the first 2 or 3 days, we're going to blow money just to get this running and going.
Right.
And that's it. So the first day you see, okay, we got 3 ads up there. This one works the best. We keep this one. We pause the others, and then we can lower the bid. You're probably not going to really pay the $10. You'll probably be paying $8 or something. So you can lower your bid $8, and then the next day Google will just keep lowering it and lowering it. So every day you can just keep lowering the bid until you're like in that 3rd or 4th spot, and then I would just stop, and there you are.
So you just creep. So every day you're looking to creep down, in this case, by a couple bucks until we're basically paying like $1 a click.
Yeah. Now it'll take some time to get down to $1 a click.
About how long would you guess?
It's going to depend on the keyword and how much traffic it is, how much money you're spending, in any given day. But for me, where I'm spending, let's say I'm spending $200 or $300 a day on a keyword, I don't think you would even be able to do this on this keyword. But regardless, it generally takes about a week to get it really down to about as cheap as I'm going to get it. 7 to 10 days. So.
Now, Preston's asking, what do you suggest? And this is a great time to ask Mike Swanson questions about this particular campaign. Preston's saying, what do you suggest if you get a lot of click-through but low conversion? Could anything else be going on other than people not liking the offer? Is it possible something underhanded is going on? So Preston's worried about your competitors coming in and clicking on you.
Okay. what's going to okay? There's at the beginning of the campaign, when you're in that #1 spot, you're going to get bad conversions. And I don't really know the reason why that is. I just think it's just people are clicking it by accident or something. So that's, you won't really know what the real conversion is until you drop down to like that 3rd or 4th spot. And then if you're getting low conversions, if you're doing the Google search keywords like we're showing in this campaign, it's really unlikely that it's fraud or your competitors clicking it. And Google actually monitors the ads to try to make sure they detect it, and they'll even look to see if someone's clicking your ad 100 times or something, they'll identify the IP address, the computer, and they'll actually give you credit for that happening. But that kind of stuff almost never happens with this Google keyword advertising. Where it happens is in the content network where you're advertising on other websites, because the people owning the websites are making money from the clicks, and there is fraud that goes on there. But even that, they tend to detect it and give you credit for it, and you can block those sites if you're not getting good conversions. But when you're just doing this Google search, keyword search, that really isn't a big problem at all. I don't even know if I've ever heard of it even happening.
Now, Paul D says, which settings need to be adjusted to ensure you're in front of the target market?
Well, you can, okay, if you click back to ad groups, and then click the used cars thing, I'll show you 2 things here. If you hit segment, you can start changing this and see, okay, click device. This will be something as an example of the target market. They'll show you which devices are giving you conversions. So for my business, I found that people on mobile phones opt in but don't buy very often. So, but if you've got a website optimized for mobile phones, that might not be a problem. So I tend to try to block those ads out now. I just ran an experiment of generating leads out of these people and found out they're not buying, but that's another story. So you can, if you go up to settings, you can adjust that and drop your bid on the mobile phones to 0. If you hit, there's somewhere you can see the audiences, which is the demographics of the people, and you can change your bids on that too. I'm trying to see where that is. It's not something, I think it's under dimensions right above, up a little more. This isn't something I mess with. Yeah, you just don't have any statistics on it. But once this is running, if you hit right here at this spot, they'll show you different things like the day or the week, and if you hit view, I think it's under there. You can see the ages of the people, who converts, who doesn't, and all that kind of stuff. You can also do this really quickly if you go to settings. You can automate this, and if you go to devices. This is important. Okay, if you go to settings in devices, see mobile devices with full browsers. On the right, you can adjust the bid. And if you do that, if you don't want to advertise on phones, click that and hit decrease by 100%. Now you won't advertise on telephones. So but that depends on what you're selling, what your website is. So that's something I do. And generally, I would recommend doing that unless you want people to call on the phone. If you're an opt-in business on email, I wouldn't do it. But if you want people to call you or something, I would keep that. But otherwise, now if you hit all settings. Oh no, okay. This will work better. You see where it says ad groups, max CPC, then edit? Right there. Okay. Okay, now let's assume, okay, you can, oh, okay, did that. That's what I want to change. Okay, hit all settings then. That's, you can change the bid real quickly.
Where's the all settings?
Right next to that devices thing. Yeah, there we go. Change campaign settings. Okay, now what the person was asking about was, okay, you're getting the clicks. Can we make it more efficient and get rid of people who aren't converting, or bad demographics, or whatever it is? Maybe 10-year-old kids aren't buying used cars. So if you go to scroll down a little bit, okay, there we go. See the bid strategy. What we're doing, okay, say we've been running this for 10 days, and we've got the bids as low as they're going to get, and we're real happy with that. And now we don't want to focus on the price we're paying for clicks anymore. We got that straightened out. We can now tell them to focus on conversions. You see that? Focus on conversions. You don't want to start doing this, but this is what you do after you get, you've been running this for a week. You actually need a minimum of 25 conversions, and you've got to set up conversion tracking too, which means you'll put code on some page that the people go to after they convert, take the action, whatever it is you want. So you got to be tracking this stuff. So for me, it's really simple. They opt in. After they opt in, there's a thank you page. I got code on the thank you page, and I don't, my campaigns started out focusing on the clicks to get them to work, but now I tell Google to focus on conversions. So Google's got all the data on people's demographics, what state they're living in or what country they're living in, and on and on and on, and they use that information to make my conversions cheaper and cheaper. So I think that's the answer to the fellow's question.
Now, Steve has a couple of tips for us. Steve says you can also change bids based on actual locations, radius, etc. So that's good to know. And Steve says the extensions really help with local plus mobile. So it's two pieces of good, two good tips from Steve. Thank you very much, Steve. Appreciate that. And Danny Bowles pointed out that for this particular campaign, we'd probably want to add buy here, pay here as a keyword that people could go for. I think that's a great idea. Yeah, Dave Key says add extensions that are relevant increases click-through quite a bit. So that would be an extension to the page that you're going to. So in this case, that would be, if we go back to our ads, could be usedcarnashville.com/ deals or / used cars, or it could be autocity.com / used cars. See, Dan says, I ranked a video for buy here, pay here for Alvin and used for a used local car dealer. That's awesome, Dan. That's awesome. Really excellent. Okay. If you have more questions for Mike on this, go ahead and type them into the question box in GoToWebinar. We've already had some excellent questions and some excellent ideas that have popped up. And again, Mike's got that whole module in there. It's just so excellent. Really, one of the things that we've done with OMG is we've made it so you don't have to go through everything, in your members area to start having success. Start where you want to start. Start with those breakthrough videos, and then maybe go to the supremacy area and watch Greg's over the shoulder series. That stuff's really core. Real cornerstone to what you're doing. But from there, what we want to do is then these other things that are in your members area, like Mike's pay-per-click module, then you can expand that when you need it. So if a client says to you, can you do pay-per-clicks? You say, well, yeah, I can do it for you. And then, you schedule a meeting with a client. Well, then go ahead and watch Mike Swanson's module before you go out with the client. I did this exact thing. By the way, Steve Hedden says, great information, Mike. Thank you. That's great because Steve's obviously somebody who's very experienced with using Google pay-per-clicks. This is cool. This has been a fun event. Oh, that's funny. Paul said the same thing, by the way. He apparently had somebody who was interested in pay-per-clicks, and he just jumped right in and
Awesome.
popped that module out and then walked into something very powerful. Coco's asking, when's Daryl's module going to be up? Well, whenever Daryl's got it ready, but he's already figured out how Camtasia works, and so I imagine that'll be coming sometime soon to an OMG members area near you. Okay, well, we don't.
Praise God.
What's that, Daryl?
Said, praise God. Yeah, I'm motivated. So I got to get through December and the Christmas rush. I feel like a little elf making presents for people right now. We're like slammed to the bone. And so I'm going to take a break right after the first of the year and dedicate a couple of days to doing this.
Oh, it's going to be great. So look forward in the new year. Well, man, this has been a lot of fun. I had a great time with this. I get more informed when I do these acceleration webinars. This is really about pointing you to where the money's being made right now. And we had quite a number of gems today. So this has been really fun. I've enjoyed everybody coming live. I'd like to especially thank Mike Swanson. We haven't gotten a chance to do that yet, so thank you.
Well, thanks, man. It's fun.
Yeah, it's always fun. You did your first webinar recently to your list.
Yeah, I did one 2 weeks ago.
And you cleaned up. That was great. It was probably the expected revenue from that will be right around $30,000. Was it worth $30,000 for you to spend an hour?
Yeah, I got 30 sales from it, and then did a second one the next week, just saying the same thing, and got about 15. So
2 hours was that worth? Was that $45,000? Did it feel like it was worth the time?
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about it. The people liked it too, so even pretty good.
So but this is one of the things, like, you're taking this attitude. Hey, I see Mike doing this, so I'm going to implement this. It's not something that you needed. It wasn't stopping you from doing business. It's just something else that you add on to it.
What do you mean?
Oh, well, my point is, it wasn't stopping you from doing business that you weren't doing webinars before, but now that you've added that component to your business, that's just something that rides along and just helps out.
Oh yeah, sure. Well, it's really some of the thinking I did from the law of implication stuff. Actually, it sounds kind of silly, but one of the things I need to do what I need to do to get more revenue is simple. Do more promotions or more offerings for the people on my email list, and webinars are an easy way for me to do that, without wearing people out, or you're giving them content and experience and so forth. So
yeah,
it's really fantastic. So that's in the past I've just done occasional launches a couple of years. Now I really want to do something at least 3 times a month, maybe every single week. Probably it would become every single week, really.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to.
Yeah, I love getting your attitude about this. I think it really matters. And, one of the things that we get to do with OMG, and we do this in various different ways, we really want you, one of the things that David talks about in the Breakthrough Series is standards and norms, and how these really shape our lives so incredibly. Like they really, the deepest assumptions that we have and the deepest assumptions of the people around us just influence us incredibly. And it's, you're either like trying to be like a salmon swimming upstream. And I don't know if that may sound cool to you, but I'll tell you, if you look at a picture of what a salmon looks like after it's done swimming upstream, you're not going to like that idea anymore. It's not pretty. I don't recommend looking it up. It's kind of gross. But when one of the things you can do is, when you realize that the standards and norms of the people around you influence you so much, then one of the shortcuts becomes getting around people who have the assumptions you want to have. And that's one of the things that we get out of these events, whether you're joining us live. We have a lot of people obviously live with us right now. You can see all the comments the question box or in the on Facebook. But whether you're joining us live or whether you're joining us watching a recording, you're really getting to experience that city on a hill. You're getting to experience the deeper assumptions of me, Mike Swanson's deepest assumptions, Daryl's deepest assumptions, the assumptions of the other individuals that are posting here, of Heather, of Dawn, of Jeff, of Dave Keys was in there, and I saw Glenn Ingram and Carol's here, and all these different individuals that you're getting to hang out with, and it's just a nice feeling, and it just kind of carries you forward in a much more powerful way. So I'll end this off by giving a hashtag City on a Hill, and we're so excited going into 2015. I mean, this is just such an exciting time to be an OMG, or such an exciting time to, gosh, it's crazy because I try to almost nowadays stay away from the news, because the news is just depressing all the time. Like whatever the national news or even local news, you just don't see happy stories. But you get inside of OMG, and it is such a shot in the arm. It's so much fun, and it's so uplifting, and it's a great experience for me. I was really reminded of this at OMG Live Nashville. I'm very mindful of this as we gear up to kick off Director's Cut. That's just what a life changer that's gonna be. So I've really enjoyed this. I've enjoyed sitting down with everybody here. Thank you for all of your comments. Daryl, thanks so much for jumping in with us, and you can really see the excitement for your module. Is that exciting for you?
Yeah, and I'm excited about doing it because I think I put it clear and dry. I think we can cut through to help a lot of people start in the client getting. I've learned a lot from Mike's stuff. I'm sitting here writing notes on paper. Hey, I was in the car business for 30 years, and I know all the dealers in my area. Oh my God.
Yep.
Well, it is amazing. I mean, the body shop thing. There's no one doing it, right? No one's advertising that stuff where I live, but the car dealers are all over the place. I guess that's a business where they love to advertise.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it really is, and regardless of where you are right now, the one thing I can tell you is that you're in the right place, and you're in exactly the right place at exactly the right time. I mean, this is the perfect storm. It's going on behind the scenes. Greg is, the fire and the fury is coming out of him. You should have heard him on the Skype conversation. I think that everybody, if you could have been a fly on the wall listening to me talk to Greg right before this event, I mean, you'd be ready to run through brick walls. How exciting it is, what we've got on tap for you coming into 2015 when it comes to SEO, and of course, the client getting stuff that we have. Daryl shared a few tidbits with you today. More to come. Cotton. Boy. Mike, you got to watch Cotton's speech at OMG Live Nashville. What did you think about that?
Oh man, he was incredible. He was one of the best speakers there, or one of the best speakers I've seen.
Yeah, that guy can fill stadiums. I mean, he's anyways, this is gonna be a real exciting time. I see all your comments pouring in. Very active audience today. Really appreciate that, man. I'm kind of you just need look no further than OMG for all the good news in the world. I mean, to be depressed, you really have to just look somewhere else.
Hey, Mike, I just had this thought.
Yeah.
I used to, many years ago, I lived with a guy in between marriages that worked for Yellow Pages. I think it was Ellen, can't remember who's, Ellen Berry or somebody that actually handled Yellow Pages, but they were doing this incredible amount of business. I took one of my clients that was paying $380 a month on Yellow Book, ranked on the first page of Google, but not number one. Got the domain from them, which they were nice about, releasing the domain to my server, build a site, and that's the one I posted the other day. Is on the first page of Google, both the one in Mobile and the one in Baldwin County, and they're ranked above the Yellow Page ads. I mean, so we got the knowledge here to do stuff that Yellow Pages is charging everybody $300 to $400 a month on a minimum, and everybody here in a matter of a few months can learn something to go to their friends and make this money. I mean, it's like wide open. Do you see that?
Oh yeah, I do for sure. It's crazy. I mean, Yeah, I don't. There are people. There's not. There's not many people understand how to get traffic. I mean, in the community I live in, there are people that make websites for people and do stuff like that. Actually, I know a company that does pay-per-click advertising for themselves, and they're a industrial company, and they got one guy that's what he does. And one time I was talking to him, and I could just tell he didn't really know what he was doing. So, but I mean that's the thing. I mean, there's no one really doing this stuff. Actually, last year when I went to the event in Nashville, I had bought a new car the day before I went up there. And so I was buying a car at a car dealership, talking to the guy. It takes like an hour for them to fill out all the paperwork, and he's talking about the money they spend to advertise on the internet and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. No,
But I mean, that's where the value is that anyone who does know how this stuff works can provide. I mean, the pay-per-click stuff, the car business better than I do. I do have some friends in it, and my guess is the average sales worth $1,000 to them. I don't know if you know if that number is right or not, but whatever it is, is that right? Do you think it's about 1,000 or more than that? I don't know.
I've got like 6 or 7 people that own body shops here in town, so if you need any local help, give me an instant message, man. But Mike Long, you're talking about the void that is created. There's nobody filling this void of what Yellow Book used to have thousands of employees making tons of money, and it's like right now there's nothing filling that void other than like pay-per-click and what we're doing.
Oh yeah, no, it's nuts. I see Glenn Ingram commenting. I tried to look him up. I think he had to jump out of the webinar. But Glenn used to do sales for Yellow Pages, and so he's got a lot of insider information, and they're losing 30 to 40% of their customers per year after year, and that's a business that's hemorrhaging. And it's a void. I mean, it's just gone. It's incredible, like what's happened. And I've told people in my analysis, I think most people assume that Glenn Ingram's logged in as Dave Keys. What? Then there's two. That's really weird, Glenn. I don't know. Okay. Well, yeah, I don't know how to bring you live then, because I guess I could bring you and Dave Keys live. Let me see if I can bring both Dave Keys live, and one of them assumedly will be Glenn Ingram. Let me see. Is this Dave or Glenn? All right, let me try to unmute this one. All right, is this Dave or Glenn?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, is it Glenn?
Can you hear me?
This is the real Dave. Get the other one.
Okay, I've got the imposter Dave and the real Dave. Glenn, why are you logged in as Dave Keys?
Hello?
I shot him my link.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Glenn, I've been telling people, and you're the one of the people who really got me on the track for this. I think that going all the way back to when Google was founded around 1998, that's the year they incorporated, I don't believe that they were trying to take market share. I don't think that their business plan was taking market share from Yahoo or MSN. I don't think that's what they're worried about. I think that they knew that they were going to crush Yahoo, and they knew they were going to crush Alta Vista and MSN and all that stuff. I think that their business plan was to perform a vicious gangland beatdown on Yellow Pages. And that's basically what's happened.
Hello, can you hear me? Yeah, I mean, they were cash cows for years. I mean, their margins were phenomenal. You can see through everything that's gone on. I mean, the office I used to work in a couple of years ago had 20 reps, and I heard last week they're down to 7. I mean, they're just hemorrhaging clients, and the clients have a lot of money they're used to spending, and they're looking for someone to help them with it. I dropped off a phone book over to Dave's last week and told him it was the best lead generation you'd ever have. People are screaming and wanting someone to help them invest their money and find leads for them.
Yeah. Yeah. So you think that one of the best ways that people can make money is just call Yellow Pages people and say, hey, how happy you are about that? Would you rather run with the big dog?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, actually spoke with AT&T, and they actually gave me their pricing for their online stuff. I mean, it's ridiculous. They're wanting $500, $700, $1,200 a month just to run a banner ad on their online Yellow Pages. And when you look at what they could get doing that same thing with SEO or with PPC on Google, it's crazy. I've got the pricing for half the Yellow Pages out there, so you look at a full page. If they're spending $800 to $2,000, $3,000 a month on that full page ad, what type of calls they're going to get versus what we can provide for them. I just talked to one of my law firms back in the Midwest that I worked with last week, and they said they were had done an audit. 40% of their calls were coming from me, and 20% were coming from Yellow Pages.
Oh my gosh! Wow. How did that feel?
They're happy and they keep writing their checks promptly, so I like that.
All right, great. Yeah, and Glenn, so you really have this perspective, and what's it like for you? I mean, because when you were selling Yellow Pages stuff, I mean, that probably like towards the end probably wasn't that great of a feeling, and now you're making 5 figures a month. You've been able to move to California, where you wanted to move, and really, I mean, how's your quality of life?
Oh, it's extremely different. You don't worry about any of the things that are going on above you. Someone in the Philippines penalizing one of your clients' websites, so now all of a sudden you lose clients and you lose revenue because it's out of your control. Just being able to control everything is amazing.
Yeah, I think that's an incredible perspective, and I really want people to, if I'm leaving you with one thought, there is so much money flying around. I mean, it is crazy. It's flying all over the place. Glenn can tell you this. Dave Keys can tell you this. Daryl can tell you this. Mike Swanson can tell you this. Whether you're doing affiliate stuff, whether you've got your own product, whether you're doing client consulting for other people, or you're growing multiple streams of income, that money is flying all over the place. Give me if you're down with that thought, give me a hashtag flying. Because it is. It's just flying around everywhere, and it's trying to find a way into your pocket. And if you just let it, it'll fly right in there. So I think that this is a fun time. Glenn, are you looking forward to 2015?
I'm just hoping I can make it through the next 2 weeks and get to there, because then it's going to be crazy.
Dave Keys, since I brought you on impromptu, are you looking forward to 2015?
Absolutely, man. 2015 is already starting, man. I'm like full steam ahead.
I love it. Daryl, are you excited about 2015?
Yeah, I want to double my income a month, so I figure that's a reasonable goal.
Yeah, going for a smooth $1 million this year.
Yeah, $1 million. That's it.
Yeah, that sounds good. Mike Swanson, how about you? You going for $1 million this year?
Oh yeah, that sounds like a good goal.
All right.
And, now, the thing about the money flying around, we just saw it in Google, the pay-per-click thing. You looked at that one keyword, $5 a bid. I mean, there's people are paying the money for the traffic for some reason. I can tell you that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It makes that money. I mean, it's just money flying everywhere.
Money flying everywhere. All right. Well, this was a very, very fun event. I really enjoyed myself. Thanks to our impromptu jump on speakers. Thanks to Glenn Ingram and to Dave Keys for providing a little bit of perspective at the end. Really care about you all. It's OMG City on Hill. I have a strong vision for it. I see it all the time. I'm pretty much obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with your success and want to see you just really tear it up. I want to see you have massive breakthroughs. 2015 is your year. Mark it down. I want to thank everybody for jumping on. God bless you, and I will see you inside. See you guys soon.
See you, Mike.